Hey, what's up guys, Well Customs here, and before we start the video, I will be using certain tools in this video that might not be suitable for younger audiences. So if you want to do this, make sure that you have an adult present, an older sibling, get adult supervision, get your parents to help you, and let them know that you want to try something, and make sure they are there to help you, because I'll be using a drill bit, a Dremel with a drill bit at the end, some kind of tool to pry open the figure as well, and super glue. So always be safe, guys. Don't try this by yourself if you never did it before. Always have your parents or an adult supervising what you're doing. Alright? I know it sounds kind of corny, but honestly, we want everyone to be safe, and that's all that matters. Alright guys, so let's begin. Hey guys, Well Customs here, and today we are going to take apart the lower legs of Blade right here. And I know a lot of people want to see how I do that, specifically for this figure, but also in general how you take apart figures, so I thought this would be a fun video to do. Alright, so basically I don't even like the lower legs that they picked for this figure. I don't like them at all. Some people do, which is fine, but I actually don't prefer the blue look on it. Also, a lot of people have been pointing out that you can fix the legs if you want to fix them, which is 100% true. You can fix it. So let's take a look at it right now. So basically the hips can't go straight down because what's happening is that it's hitting, you can even see it right here, it's hitting the back part of his butt, as you can see. And this is actually not the same. People are pointing out, oh, it's funny how people are complaining about this figure, but they weren't complaining about the Scourge figure, or Scourge, whatever his name is. So this is the base body of that. This is the same one as Electro. And they actually have different crotch pieces, totally different, 100% different. You can see how it's shaped differently as well, right there. There's so much more room back here, as you can see, compared to here. He actually has a small butt, which is kind of funny. But yeah, they are different, skinnier, smaller, and everything. So there's no room to go back. Even this one goes back, right there. So this one does not go back. So what you could do, if you wanted to fix it, is that you would sand down or shave down this whole part a little bit more, just enough for it to go back. Not that much, because he does have a small butt. You don't want to lose the butt, I guess. But that is a possibility right there if you want to fix it. Also, another problem is his ankles they don't have the best movement. So as you can see right here, there is like a line or a piece of plastic right there. Try and zoom in. There you go. It stops right there. So he doesn't have the greatest range of ankle pivots, you're going to call it that. What you could do is shave the front part off a little bit more, so it allows this part on top of his foot to go up higher. So it is 100% possible that you could salvage this figure if you want to fix it. If you do like the blue pants, that's fine. But I don't. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to Dremel this down. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to poke some holes on the lower crotch area to free it up. And what I would do is I would poke a hole right here on the side. Right there. I'll poke a hole right here on the side where the line meets the two pieces. You can see the line. Another one over here on the other side. And you do another one below where his crotch is. That line right there. So those are the meeting points of the two pieces of the crotch meeting. So when we poke a hole in there, we use, well, I use this. It's like an ice pick, really strong, thick piece of metal. You stick it in there and you pry it open. Alright, so this is what we have so far. We have 3 holes in Blade, so we have 2 in the sides, and we have 1 in the bottom right there. And this is when I would use my ice pick right here, and I would just try to crack open the crotch area. Normally I just do it from the bottom right here. It should be enough, but if I don't have enough leverage, I don't want to snap the crotch area because I want to salvage it. Then I would try to work the sides a little bit more just to get it loosened, so you can hit a crack right there. Just crack it. You know, you want to try to separate it a little bit and then it should be easy and good. Just always be careful. You know, I use an ice pick, but there are other device things you can use that don't have a point. But you don't want to stab yourself or anything like that. So there you go. And there you go. And that was pretty clean. So if you want to keep this, you can just salvage it, which is fine. Stick it together back, like so. And what you would do is when you put it back on the body, you would fill up the holes with epoxy. Well, first you would super glue it and then fill it with epoxy. Also, if you want to save these legs and you want to use them for blade, and you don't like that the ankles are really horrible, what you could possibly do is just take off the boots, pop them off, put better boots on there, and then that's better articulation. And there you go. That's definitely another option for you to do to salvage these legs. Alright, so right here we have another lower body of the same Scourge figure right there. I think it's Scourge, right? So I'm going to use this one actually for the lower body. I was going to use a Punisher one. I did exactly what I said I was going to do, right? And I came to the problem that they have a different peg on the bottom. It's very similar, but there's another layer right here. The little stump right there. What I could do is possibly open this up right here, which is not a problem, but might be a little hard. It will be hard, but I could still do it. And then I would have to open this up, which I do not want to do because it's really hard and I'm afraid I'm going to warp the sides. So I don't feel like doing that right now because Hasbro really does they seal up their figures pretty good, so I don't want to even attempt to do that. But always taking the lower body is a lot easier, so I did that for this one right here. This one actually has the same exact one that actually has a little bit of a stump too. Man, Hasbro really just mixed up all their pieces. But I was able to take this one out, and thankfully this will still fit in here. Like that. So that looks better, the black. In my opinion, at least. I wanted to have black pants, or at least black something, so it looks nicer. And actually now he has knee pads, which is pretty cool. He has a nice height comparison right there. So he does have a bigger upper body and a bigger head, so he is a little bit taller, which might be a positive for some people. Alright, now it's time to reattach the lower body to the upper body permanently. So what we're going to do is use super glue, and I use these specific brands right here. This one is pretty good, but this one I use all the time for customizing, which I like a lot because it actually has a brush too. So you could put on exactly how much you want, specifically where you want to put it, and that's pretty nice. There are other super glues that do have paint brushes, but I've always been used to this one, so it's fine with me. But yeah, so basically what you want to do is you want to apply the super glue exactly where all the white is, because that's where it was bonded before. So it's pretty self-explanatory where you would do it. So step by step, exactly what I would do is I would put a little bit on here, just a little bit on all the white areas, including down there. Then I'll stick this on, right? And then I'll leave that on right there. And then I put majority of the glue, a lot more, on this piece, the front piece, all over the place on the white. And then I would stick it on like that. Squeeze it down, make sure it's all the way down. There's no gap. Squeeze it down. Also, you might want to rotate it just a little bit, because sometimes there might be glue that seeps out. So you just want to make sure it spreads more and doesn't clump up and get dry. And you want to let it dry. It's crazy glue, so it'll dry pretty fast in minutes. But you let it cure fully. Just let it sit. Make sure it doesn't get stuck also. So you don't want to rush this, because if you rush it, you might mess it up. Alright, so we applied the super glue right now. It is drying nicely. and like I said before, rotate a little bit so if there is any excess glue that might spill out, you don't want to get it stuck and stuff like that. But other than that, I also want to point out you could also apply some more super glue just for some added reassurance to the inner rims of the holes that you made, because you know you did make a hole there which split these two pieces apart. So if you want to put another dab of super glue inside the hole, it's fine. Also, I like to twist the body like this on purpose, because you have the line that goes up over here and goes over there as well. So I apply just a little bit right there, just a little bit right there as well. But after that, after all this glue dries up, then we're going to fill the holes up with epoxy, and that would really keep and bond the two pieces together as well. Alright, now it's time to fill up those holes, and we will use epoxy right here. You got the A and B. What you do is you take a little bit of A, a little B, same size, you mix it up, and you got a new compound. Alright, we've got two sides right here, and we're going to just, what I like to do is make a little bit of a straight thing like that, and then do the other one like that too. And this way it's easier to mix them together, like so. And then you put them together like that, and you start twisting it. Then you mix it, and you mash it. And then you do this until it becomes one solid. As you can see right here, not quite there yet, so you keep mixing, keep mixing, keep mashing, keep mashing. And over the years that you've been using this, you're going to find out that you always take way too much than you need, which is kind of funny. But you get better at it, because sometimes after you're done, you're like, oh man, I took too much, and it's a waste. But I'll show you why sometimes I like that. Alright, so what I'm going to do right now is just do one hole because it's annoying doing this behind the camera. So what I like to do is take a little piece, straighten it up, and stick it right into the hole the best I can. I need to probably do a little bit of that. I'm actually looking through the camera screen to do this, so it's not most ideal, but yeah. Alright, you know what? Screw this. Alright, so I got two holes filled up right here, and as you can see, you want to, it's pretty much flat. You don't want it to extend out. You just want to fill up the hole, basically, right there. And if you want to, you maybe take a toothpick, or if you have tools, you could kind of follow the lines and the patterns to make it in there as well, which I will probably do after. But let's fill the last hole up, and I still want to show you guys how to do it, so you know easier ways to do it. So you want to fill the hole up. So what I do is you take a ball like that, and you just want to stuff it into the hole like so. Okay, stuff it in there and press down. There you go. You want to get all of it in there like that, and you want to kind of use your finger and just press down and swipe it down so it's really packed in there. Right. And you want to do it again just to add some more to pack it in, because you want the epoxy to really fill up the whole hole and don't want to miss any crevices or anything. So do it again, press down to really get it in there, and you have some excess right there, and you just use your finger and swipe it away like that. So that should be good. And you clean it up. Maybe some, if you have a little bit of water, it'd be good too. That will help clean it up a little bit. I just want to show you guys how to fill the hole right now. And you can even do it a little more, because I can kind of feel like it's not 100% filled yet. So do a flatten it out. Pack it in, pack it in. And use your finger. See, it's getting a little dry on me now. How about I get some water? Clean it up a little bit more. But you guys get the gist of that. Because you want it smooth, you know, you don't want it to be like bumpy or anything like that. You don't want any fingerprints as well on it. So you want to smooth it out. So keep doing this until you get nice and smooth and leveled, which is most important. A little bit at a time. This might be too much, but we'll pack it in. See, now that one is too high, and then we'll pack it in just a little bit more, and then we'll wipe away the excess. And like I said before, get some water, clean it up a little bit more. Alright, so we get all the holes filled up. We use some water on our finger, and we smooth everything out nicely. And we will let this dry. I actually might use a little tool just to make some lines to match it up a little bit. But that's pretty much the gist of it. And you're going to want to let it dry. It's just so small anyway. It'll take a couple hours, but the longer you let it dry, the better, of course. But like I said before, you're always going to have some excess left over. Like I had those two little balls, and I still have this much left over, because you're never going to use all of it. If you do, then good job on you. But what I like to do is I like to take whatever's left over, roll up into a big ball, the biggest one I can with everything left over, and whatever I'm working on, I leave it, let it dry, and I put this specifically right in front of it, like that. So when I go check on it, I check on this thing first to see if it's dry or not. If this is not dry, then I know that's not dry, because this is, you know, from the same mixture right there. So if this is not dry, you know, don't touch it. But like I said before, this is so small, it'll take a couple hours, but I'm doing this late at night right now, so I usually just let it dry overnight, which is more than enough time. But always letting things cure longer is always more beneficial for you anyway. And that way, after that, you can paint over it nicely. Alright guys, so it's been about 48 hours actually since I did the last part of my video. I just didn't have enough time to get around to it. But here is the little ball that I made from before. Hard as a rock. So you know that the little fillers right here are all nice and hard and cured properly. Honestly, 48 hours is more than enough. 12 is even more than enough. These are such a small job right here. It's probably going to take like 6 or 3 to 6 hours. But like I said before, overnight is probably the best way to go, so you don't have to worry about it. But yeah, now he is perfect. Now he's good. Now this is a blade that I could actually like a lot now. If you watch my review, I love the waist up. The bottom I didn't like, but now I think he's nice and complete looking. All you have to do now is probably just, if you want to, you can sand it down a little bit with some sandpaper or Dremel. Just sand it down to make it nice and smooth, and then you can recolor it black. It's so small you might not even notice them. What I would do now myself is I would try to find a nice belt to put around his waist. You know, to kind of not saying hide the work that you did, but you know, just conceals it a little bit more, which is not bad to do. But yeah, that's basically what you want to do next, and it's pretty straightforward from there. Honestly, it's nice and easy. This is a pretty easy job if you have the right tools. You know, always be careful and take your time, of course, but everything works nice now. So going to articulation really quickly, he does have the waist, of course, nice and smooth. He does have T-jointed hips, goes up about that high, goes back a little bit. Nice split right there. Nice kicking action while he shoots and throws his blade, or whatever that thing is. And everything's good now. I'm happy. And now this is, like I said, this is a blade figure I would love to have in my collection. And he looks pretty good. I like the fact that he has actually the knee pads. I think it's a good look to him. And I think the black actually complements his gray armor on top, which is pretty good. If you want to, you can actually switch out the boots if you're not happy with them. I'm pretty sure you could have a lot of different boots in your own collection that you could probably spare if you don't like the look. Like I said before, I was trying to use the Punisher legs. They look pretty nice, but it would require a little bit more work, and I I didn't really feel like doing it, honestly, because it involves you cracking open the ab joint as well to switch out the little thing right there. What do you want to call that? The disc. And yeah, I mean, it could be a larger job to do. This really it could take you only like 10 minutes, honestly. It's fast. And it's the waiting time to let it dry that takes the longest, to be honest. But it's worth it. I'm pretty happy. And yeah, so that's about it, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. And that's basically it. You can soup him up now, put a belt on, put his stuff on, and it looks great. You know, even if you have a nice jacket, you could put on him as well. That'd be pretty cool. Alright, so that's about it, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope it was helpful. I know it's pretty basic, but I know a lot of people like to see how things are done visually, so I hope this helps someone out there. And of course, go back to my other videos, my other tutorial videos. I have a lot. I'll try to put them someplace. You know, really basic stuff. You just learn the basics. You can get the idea going through your mind, and you can do everything yourself. Learn your own techniques. Be creative. Figure out new things. And yeah. Alright, guys. That is it. Thanks for watching. Like always, comment, criticize, subscribe. Do whatever you want. Just pay attention. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. Peace!